Space, the final frontier. This is a review show for Star Trek The Next Generation. Its continuing mission to explore interesting plot points, to seek out goofs and continuity errors, to boldly go where no other TNG review show has gone before. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the TNG Review Show. Yay! Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. It is us. We are back consigning another episode of Star Trek The Next Generation to our vault. I'm joined this evening by my wonderful co-hosts, Chief Sean. Good evening, Chief. Let's give you a round of applause. There you go. Tavigans Turner. The lovely Tavigans. And tonight, the Tired Time Lord is in the house. Good evening, Tired. Of course, we are missing Mazim Bob, who is in live chat. She's travelling on a train again, on her way back from... the land of
biscuit
tea
factory.
And sorry,
the biscuit factory.
The biscuit factory, yes, the land of tea and cakes. Yeah. So I guess we'll find out next week what wonderful thing she's brought back with her from the factory shop.
To Yorkshire tea.
The Yorkshire tea, yeah. Hopefully some Yorkshire tea. Yeah, so how are you this week, Chief Sean? How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks. I was just saying off air, I was signing contracts on my house earlier on today. So.
Oh, that definitely round of applause.
Thank you. So I was gonna say you're gonna see me from a new location, but you won't. It'll look exactly the same to you. I'll still be on the Defiant, just the Defiant will be in a different place.
Yeah.
But it's nice. I'm going to have an actual office, a dedicated room, not just. Oh. This is a dining table and a computer table and an L shape at the right angles that don't even connect properly. It's very in a big echoey room. It's going to be completely different.
You won't have the convenience of having the fridge door right behind you, though, will you?
Yeah, just right. No, I'll have to go into a completely separate room to go to the fridge. Yeah. You also won't hear me banging when I go to the fridge because it'll be far away from you.
Yeah. Tavigans, how are you doing this week? How's the farm?
doing good. Farm is great. My chickens got an upgrade. Their kennel, their chicken coop used to be a dog kennel, and it was divided in half. Oh, the kids are chirping after me. I have to tell the beard to get to the kids. And it was divided in the middle. So now I took all that stuff out, and so now they've got this huge space, and they're probably going insane, like what? And I've definitely got to put some chicken play stuff in there, like a swing or something. So when they're in during the winter, they've got something to bounce around on. Mm. Oh my God. Do you hear the kids?
A little bit.
They're like, Mom! We gotta go get those kids though.
No worries. So you can always turn your camera off if you want. Okay. Time Lord, how's your week, Gil?
It's going pretty good. I've been pretty chill. I'm in my happy place right now. I got snacks with me. I've got medication. I've got Star Trek. We're good. It's a good time.
Yeah, you don't need to turn your camera off. You just need to beam out and in, just like this.
Yeah. There you go.
And then back in again.
There you go.
But not too much because that messes up my green screen.
Yeah. The illusion is broken.
If I just threw something green over top of the couch, it might pick it up. And, then I won't have this yellow blob behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can...
And good evening to everyone in live chat. Good evening to Ruth. How are you this evening? And Smiler Rainbow. Mazma Bob is in the house, so yes, she's on her train coming back. Yeah, Sean started off with the dad jokes, and yeah, getting one in there quite early there, Sean.
Thank you.
Has everybody got their red wine or their snacks this evening, or their glasses of water, or whatever it is you have this evening?
I've got water, a Coke.
I've got blood wine this evening. Malbec.
I've got wine.
Wine. I've got my wine. And good evening to Stuplum. Stuplum's in this house. It's his birthday this week. So happy birthday to Stuplum. If we could get some happy birthdays to Stuplum in the chat. Yeah, let's give a cheer. Yeah, well done, Time Lord. Yeah. Happy birthday to Stuplum.
You'll be around for the birthday bumps?
He will. Yes, we'll be celebrating that on the weekend. So, yes.
Do you have a bank holiday there?
This weekend? No.
Did you have one just gone, was it?
No. It's in a couple of weeks' time.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Oh, it might be. Is it this weekend? Actually, no. It's the. You've got me thinking now. I don't know. I don't think it's this weekend. But I don't know.
Oh no, the 27th of May. Sorry, yeah, it's the end.
Yeah, it's the last.
Yeah, you know, we have it in the first Monday in May. You must have it in the last one. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's a few weeks away yet.
Right.
A few weeks away yet. Okay, so let's get on with the episode. What episode are we throwing in our vault? It is Eye of the Beholder. Yes, we're still in season 7. Eye of the Beholder is episode 18 of season 7. Production number 40277-270. It first aired in the US on the 28th of February in 1994. It was the 169th episode of TNG to be both produced and released. And the teleplay was by Rene Echeverria. And this was his 16 of 18. Story by Brannon Braga is 21st of 24. And directed by Cliff Bowl, 24 of 25 for him. Just one more after this for Cliff. Of course, of Bolian fame. And those are 3 individuals we've talked a lot about. So this is like the creme de la creme of like Star Trek writers and directors, isn't it, really? So yeah, let's see what they do. Yeah. Was anything about the production of note for you, Tired Time Lord?
I have just a small thing that I think you might have touched on it. The script was completed on December 21st, 1993.
Yeah.
Just a short production note to start us off.
So the last one in that year.
It went from sort of Christmas '93 to being aired in end of February 1994. So it's a pretty quick turnaround, isn't it? Really, from completing the script to production to editing to being on the TV.
Just shy of 3 months there.
Yeah. Yeah, they turned these things around. But when you're producing 26 episodes a year, there was no messing, was there? There was no messing about. Yeah.
I know Voyager famously, they kept four episodes back of their first season, and then they put them into the second season, and they kind of gave themselves a lead in. But I mean, they used to get 6 weeks off, and they come back in July, and then they start airing in September. So and they had 10 days an episode, generally speaking. They really had to work.
Let's get the picture screen up.
I mean, the money was good, but I mean, 14 hours a day, 12, 14, 16 hours a day, sometimes 6 days a week. A lot of going. And that doesn't even include you have to learn your script when you're not on set.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't get that now. It just wouldn't happen.
Oh, when they were making DS9, 2 or 3 of the crew died on their way home in car accidents. They fell asleep at the wheel and died.
Oh,
and the
yeah.
unions made them change the rules.
Yeah.
So by the time Deep Space Nine came around, by the second or third season, they stopped doing it. But for the first little bit of it, they were still at that.
Okay. Here's the first picture. So we're going straight into the teaser. The Enterprise is at red alert. Where's my red alert button? Is it red alert? It's not question time. We get a nice panning shot from the red alert light over to Data.
Oh, yes, it's very good.
At Ops, who tells us that they are losing containment on the starboard nacelle tube. It's quite like the angle that they chose, and then we get sort of like a Dutch angle of Picard as well, stood in the centre of the command. And Picard orders that more power to the field coils. So they're trying to correct whatever's gone wrong. LaForge replies from engineering that someone has locked out the plasma injector controls and they can't shut it down. So the Enterprise begins to vent plasma from the nacelles, which is pretty cool. Riker and Worf are climbing the Jeffries tube to the nacelles. There's a Starfleet officer in the control room on the catwalk. Lieutenant Nara tells them he locked out the controls. Worf attempts to help her shut down the plasma flow, whilst Riker goes up onto the catwalk to talk him down. Riker tries to appear friendly by using first names. He tells Dan that it's Will Riker. Dan tells him he didn't want to do it, but he saw them together and they laughed at him. Though Riker tries to talk him down, and Worf tries to circumvent the override that Dan put in place, Dan knows what he has to do. And he jumps and vaporizes himself. Riker punches the bulkhead in frustration at losing a crewmate. And that is the end of your teaser. Now, we have our own red alert because it is question time.
Yeah, if I had it open on the right screen, it'd be a help. Which nacelle is losing containment? A, port, B, starboard.
Oh.
And, some of these questions, they're a bit thin on the ground when I came up with them. In what film is this in the same year do we see a Lieutenant Dan? Lieutenant Dan! 94, won Best Picture.
Yeah.
Best actor in it is a big Star Trek fan and was supposed to be in it, but never got to be.
Question is
the actor's rhyming slang for something rude.
There you go. Start putting your answers into chat.
So I have some trivia. that goes with this teaser.
Ah.
The first thing is, this is the first time in the Next Generation that the interior of the warp nacelles has been shown. And on top of that, this is just something that, just of note with that scene. So Riker and Worf are standing there before they get up to Quan. You'd think Riker could have been like, hey, somebody get an emergency transport on him and beam him, instead of trying to talk him down, just, transport him away.
Beam him straight to sick bay.
I think there's additional shielding in the nacelles. So, as we see in Enterprises, I forget the episode where they all have to stay in the nacelles to survive a storm.
Yep.
So
I
don't
that.
think transport. I forget the deck or the port or something. I forget the name of it. The catwalk, called the catwalk. So I would guess that there's additional shielding naturally to keep the nacelles from exploding, and transporters probably don't work.
It's a bit of headcanon though, because they don't actually say that in.
No, although I do love.
It's an assumption to be made, isn't it?
Well, it's a calculated assumption, based on known canon. But I do like the set though; it's a nice one, and you can see a lot of Voyager influence in it. It looks a lot like what Voyager engineering is going to be built in just a couple of weeks in real time.
Yeah, I thought it was really nice to see inside a warp nacelle, and I thought they did a pretty good job of modelling the inside of like the reaction, or the plasma injector chamber thing. It looked pretty cool. I mean, it looked way small compared to what the inside of a warp nacelle would look like. But I mean, it could be just a small part of it, couldn't it? Inside, you don't know, do you? So
yeah, well, I suppose there could be a couple of those little what, not offices, little workstations.
Yeah.
Within the cells, there could be 2 or 3 of them.
Could be a few of them. Yeah. Yeah.
Possibly.
So yeah, it was good. Answers to the questions then, Sean. I think we've got a number of answers.
Yeah, we have Starboard Forrest Gump. I think we got everybody there.
I said B and Forrest Gump. Tired Time Loss said Forrest Gump. Tabbykin said B and Forrest Gump. Stu Plum said B. Run Forrest Run. The Beard answered B.
Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no legs.
Ruth answered B. Tabbykin's.
Yeah,
yes,
I think that's
Ruth said B and Forrest Gump. So yeah, I think everyone. Everyone's gone for B and Forrest Gump.
Mazza guessed A. So unlucky Mazza.
Mazza guessed A. Port.
But she did get Forrest Gump, so if she wins the spin, then you'll all be level.
Yeah.
No, it's just +10.
Yeah, but the first
I
question.
couldn't remember, so I just kind of put the trust in Montalban when he put B.
The first question is 20, I thought.
Is it? Okay.
20, then 40, 80. Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is? Fair enough. I don't do the scoring, so.
20, 40, 80. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's kind of based on like binary, so that sounds like Maz. So it's Ruth, me, Maz, Tavi, Stu,
the Beard,
Stu, Beard. Did he say Forrest Gump? Did the Beard say Forrest Gump?
He did. I had to mute my mic. He was in the background giving me a
Forrest Gump. Was there anyone else? Ruth? I feel like I'm missing someone. Time Lord.
I was looking like, am I on there? Sorry.
Beard, Time Lord, Stu, Terry, Maz, Ruth, and Monty. That's it, I think.
Are you in the market for a new bed by any chance, Monty?
Me? Why?
Just judging by the targeted ads going on.
No, I did look for my mum actually. She needed a new mattress for one of the rooms that are being decorated because the car crashed through the wall.
Yeah.
But, right, I'm spinning the wheel. Do 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 do. It's Mazza.
Oh, good. That gets her some of the way back.
Yes. That's kind of like you kind of predicted that. You kind of
I almost willed it to happen. Yes.
you manifested Mazza's destiny there, didn't you?
A little bit.
A little bit. A little bit. Okay, so we're into Act 1. And we are in the ready room. Riker laments that given a few more seconds, he could have saved his life. He found it strange that Dan didn't even seem to recognize him. Riker recounts how he had recently worked with him on the nacelle refit, and he had complimented Dan on getting the work done ahead of schedule. Dan was pleased that Will had indeed noticed. Troi also met with him recently, noting how he was looking forward to working on the nacelle, and none of them can understand what's gone wrong here, what's happened. Picard orders Troi and Worf to look into it, to investigate it, and try to piece what happened together. LaForge comes in and tells Picard that they have nearly finished repairs, and Picard tells him that the medical supplies on Boston 2 are required urgently, so Starfleet has given their permission to exceed warp speed limitations to make up the time. God, that was exciting, wasn't it? That was an exciting bit of the episode, that was, I thought. They'd been allowed
that
to
meaningless
exceed the speed limit.
dialogue.
Wow.
To be fair, they only kept that for about 6 episodes and they stopped working it in. And there is a gap between when they initially write that into the first episode and then, you know, when they've seen 2 or 3 episodes come through the sausage make grinder, and then see 2 or 3 episodes come out and then go, oh yeah, and then stop writing it in. So, you know, it does take them a while to get there, but they just stop mentioning it.
When they get feedback from the audience that they absolutely hate it being mentioned. Actually.
Well,
Maybe we'll stop doing that now.
I don't know if they did focus groups or stuff, but I know for a fact that the modern day showrunners just go on Twitter. I see them there. You know, if you write, God, I really love that episode of Prodigy, you know, Aaron Walke will just come on and respond to you. So, you know, it's very much they're looking for that instant feedback.
It was a different time.
It depends. You said one of the showrunners will block you if you give him any sort of negative criticism.
All I said was, yeah, Metalis blocked me because I said, I'm glad Worf looks like a Klingon. So making fun of Discovery, and he blocked me for that.
For shame.
Yeah. Oh, thank God the Klingons look like Klingons. Something like that. And that's literally the only thing I said to him. People have got blocked for less. Metalis is very famous for his blocking.
Okay. So, Data... Oh, no. That's gone to the wrong place. No. Over here. So, Data questions Geordi why... as self-preservation is a basic instinct of most life, why would someone deliberately self-delete? Geordi thinks that maybe Lieutenant Kwan, Dan, thought there was something wrong with his life. Dan can understand... Data can understand that. And Geordi's like, oh, really? I like the way here he, like, mimics... Geordi folds his arms, and Data folds his arms as well, to, you know, mimic the posture. Yes, Data can understand that, as he faced a similar situation during his first few months. As his neural net formed, it became difficult to integrate newer, more complex pathways into the whole network without causing a cascade failure. He came to the conclusion that it might be easier to shut himself down, wipe it, and start again. Geordi asks him, well, what did you do? And Data replies, they decided against it, and instead treat each problem as a challenge to overcome rather than an obstacle to avoid. And Geordi laments that it's a shame that Dan Kwan didn't take that view himself. It's quite an interesting take from Data there. And it also gives some backstory to like him turning on, you know, and working things out. Worf and Troi check out Quan's quarters, and they find it to be quite lovely, and not a total disaster area that they thought it might be. He has a photo of Ensign Calloway by his bed. That's his girlfriend. She's a medical technician in sick bay. Yeah. Ruth says she thinks Data is the only one who used the phrase committing suicide, which is a phrase that they try to stay away from now. Yeah. I think they do.
Yeah, it's like there's certain words you can't use on the internet because, again, you get banned off social media, so people will say things like, he unalived himself.
Yeah.
So the filters don't pick him up. And God forbid if you, and you know, they're very puritanical about this on Facebook, if you refer to any usage of the term faggots, be it fags meaning cigarettes or the dish, you know, faggots and mash, it's just instant ban, and you try and appeal it, and it's just like,
Are you
no.
trying to delete our stream? Just kidding.
Tom's gonna get us turned off here.
I know, he's going to get us deleted. I even changed it to
It's
self-delete.
a perfectly cromulent word if used in the correct instance.
No, I know.
What was
I
that
love
word?
a faggot.
Cromulent? What was that?
Cromulent.
I've never heard that.
That's a Simpsons reference.
It must be an American thing. Wait, this is from The Simpsons then. How should I not know? What?
I've never heard that word. I had no idea. I thought it was like words like when Blackadder's making up words for the dictionary. For I'm miscombobulated. Whatever it is he says. Yeah. Yeah. Ah, Mr. Tabikins, the beard, is in the house. Good evening to you, sir. Just the rest of his answers are A, B, B, C, and D. There you go. Seeing into the future is Mr. Tabikins. So they, in his quarters, they check his personal log. But he flushed, so that was that. No, his last log tells them that he's looking forward to spending some time with his girlfriend Mandy, which doesn't sound like someone who's thinking of ending it all. Troi goes to sick bay to talk to the girlfriend. She's in shock. And Troi tells her how he loved her very much, as she could tell from the logs. She tells Troi how they were planning a holiday together. She also mentioned that Dan felt that Lieutenant Nara was threatened by him in the nacelle control room. And she always found that he was sensitive to other people's moods. He was kind of telepathic. And Troi confirms that Napians are partially telepathic. And that's what he was, with a sort of leaf thing on his head. I think we've seen them in something else. I think they appear in Napians appear in it again in something. I remember seeing them.
I'm sure they do, because once they have the forehead cast, it's not like you're not going to use it again. You know, even if it's just walking down the promenade in DS9, you know.
Yeah. Mandy thinks something terrible must have happened to him, because it's not like Dan to take his own life. I thought that was the worst line in the entire episode.
Well, clearly he hasn't done it before.
Well, it's just not like him. It's just not like him.
It's his first time taking his own life. You don't say.
You know.
Hey, Tavi, how often do planes crash? Just the once.
Yeah. Troi decides to visit the warp nacelle control room and talks to Lieutenant Nara. She thought he was a good man. She didn't see any warning signs. He was an excellent officer. He was ambitious, but after a short settling in period, they got along just fine. Nara gets called away to perform some other duties, so Troi decides to take a look at the catwalk. Probably not a good idea. Once there, she's overwhelmed with a strong telepathic impression. And that is the end of Act 1. So, we've got our own little moment now. Because it's question time.
As I said, just looking at that roof, you can see all like the Voyager elements. It looks so much like the Voyager engineering set. I definitely think they use it as a dry run. Okay, so visiting Dan's quarters, they mentioned he was half what? A. Barzan, B. Napian, C. Einar, or D. Vadwar. And the bonus question, sorry, I just had to reach for this one. What's Deanna's mother's name?
Smiley Rainbow says, your fingers have fingertips, but your toes don't have toe tips. Yet, you can tiptoe, but not tip finger.
Do you ever notice you fill in a form by filling it out?
Yeah.
You ever going on holidays and they ask you, would you mind getting on the plane? I'd be like, no thank you. Might be a bit windy. I think I'll get in the plane.
And I've never understood, if you raise a house, you're demolishing it.
Or is Eddie...
But it's...
just in relation to the species, they turned up twice on DS9. Once on DS9 and twice in Lower Decks. Twice in DS9. One of them was one of Cassidy Yates' crew aboard the Zoza.
So I'm gonna let you know now. I've got like one trivia fact for each act until we get to Act 5, and then I've got like a bunch of them because I don't want to spoil things.
That's all right.
So for Act 1, what I've got is just that this episode revisits the theme of Troy's empathic abilities. That has been, a recurring theme throughout the show. And this is like one of the last, I think this might be the last Troi ability episodes, archetype of that episode format.
Yeah.
Sorry, that did not word as I wanted.
It was worded. It was worded fine. If your nose runs and your feet smells, you're probably upside down. Yes, very good, Mouse. Yes.
Actually, I was just looking it up while I was doing stuff, and cromulent originally was a word made up for The Simpsons, but it's actually made its made its way into the official Oxford English Dictionary.
Really, crumbs.
It does mean understood or acceptable language.
Wow.
So you could play it in Countdown.
Yes, you could. You could indeed.
I wasn't trying to make fun of you on that shot. I just thought the word was funny. Sorry.
Yeah, no, well, it is. It's from The Simpsons.
So we've got Mazmat Bob with B and Luxana. You got Tired Time Lord with Napian and Luxana Troi. Ruth with B and Luxana. Me, Monteban with B and Luxana. Stu Plum with A and Luxana. Mr. Tavikins with Luxana, and I think what was I've forgotten what
chose
A. There's A and Luxana, and Tavikins was B and Luxana. So I think we've got a Stu Plum answered. Did I see? Oh yeah, A and Luxana. Yep, I think we've got all the answers in, Sean. So what have we got? What's the answers?
Napian and Luxana is correct.
Napian, which was B. Yes, B.
Twas, yes.
Yes, B and Luxana. So is that everybody with Luxana? Is that everybody on the board again, I think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And Wookiee. Yes. I'm spinning the wheel. Do 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 do. I don't believe it. My God. It's Mazza again.
Mazza's making up.
She's not even on the chat, and she's already getting all the points. You know.
I know. I'll have to take her off
The train magic. That's what it is. It's the train magic.
Yes. Yes, maybe she's on the Hogwarts Express. Right. Moving on. We're on to Act 2. So, the doc... Oh, no. That was not right. That was not correct. Bear with me, everyone. Right. So the doc checks her out in sickbay as Troi tells them how she was overcome by fear, rage, and panic. Though they weren't coming from a particular person. They wonder if she is feeling what Quan was feeling. The doc detects high levels of psilocybin, neurotransmitter involved with telepathy. Riker wants Worf to accompany her the next time she visits the control room. The Enterprise stops off at Starbase 328 to pick up the medical supplies for Boston 2. Worf visits Troi in her quarters to discuss the investigation. And Troi has been going through Dan's logs, but hasn't found anything. She tells Worf how when she was a little girl, her grandfather would telepathically tell her stories around a campfire. When she goes home, sometimes, when she's alone, she can still hear his voice as clear as day in her mind.
Nice mug Deanna has there. I wish I had one like that, only in black and smaller.
Oh, you do?
A little bit. Yeah, I know Mazza has one too, but
She does. Yeah.
I just love there's still a few of these left around from the 90s, and they're not even that expensive.
No. Worf also tried, says he tried to talk to dead people via a fire as well. But his vision came to life.
Spoke to Kailash.
Yeah. He decides to leave and let her get some rest. Later, in 10 Forward, Worf talks to Riker, who's on a date with Lieutenant Corral. Worf asks him if they are involved. Him and Corral. Riker's like, why? Are you interested? Worf's like, no. But if I was, I would ask you before proceeding any further. He would never want to get between Will and someone he was, or once was, involved with. Riker laughs that Worf sounds like he's asking to date his sister. Worf, realizing he's about to be rumbled, flusters and tells Riker to never mind. Excuse me, and he runs away, runs out of 10 Forward. It's quite a funny little scene, that, with Riker and Worf. I don't think he'd be so pussyfooting around it, though, really. I mean, he's a Klingon, for God's sake.
Mm. Yeah. That Jonathan Frakes has one hell of a hairy chest.
Well, there's a reason why he's pussyfooting around it, but if I say it, it'll spoil things.
Mm.
I'm wondering if Jonathan has to shave just to stop his chest hair meeting his beard. Like, does it go all the way down?
Probably.
You know, is he one of those?
I could probably map mine together. Yeah.
That reminds me of when I first came to Norway, I was an au pair, and there was just some other au pairs talking about their experiences with the families that they had, and this one poor girl, she was like, the things that would come out of these kids' mouths, and she was shaving like under her arms or something because they were going to go to the beach. And the little boy that she was watching, she's like, "Are you shaving?" And she's like, "Yes, I am." He's like, "My dad shaves because he's got his beard on his face. Yours is under your arms. My mom's beard is down there."
Oh dear.
So I was like, Wow. But
Yeah. Beards can get everywhere, I'll tell you. Yeah.
you guys
Doesn't
be
Tommy
kind to
know
me. I'm doing multiple things tonight. I'm keeping score. I'm trying to keep the dad jokes, and I'm also doing the bingo. Y'all are just blowing it up with dad jokes in chat. I
Mr.
hope I don't
Ty-
miss anybody. So you guys, at the end, when I recall some of them, you gotta let me know if I missed one that you put in.
I wrote my theory into the private side of things, and later, just don't let me forget, because I will forget.
I see Mr. Tavican said he told his wife to embrace her mistakes. So she gave him a hug. Yeah, very, very good. Very good.
My wife got upset with me because I made fun of her height. I decided to make it up to her, so when she came home, I ran her a nice sink.
Okay. Yeah. I just think Wolf would be more like, you know, if he's Klinger, you'd be more like, I'm taking your woman. That sort of thing, you know? But anyway. Later, Worf and Troi are back in the nacelle control room. Troi mounts the catwalk. She asks Worf to open the door. And he does. The blast door is open. And Worf's like, okie dokie, and just pushes the button. They reveal the plasma reaction chamber. And she's hit with psychic vision. She sees a girl backing up towards a bulkhead, pleading for her life. She sees a man seemingly standing over her. And he looks kind of weird. And then she looks around to see the area under construction at Utopia Planitia.
Yeah, nice little goof there.
Yeah?
Planitia, it's spelled IT, not ET. It's Planitia, not Planitia.
Ah. I didn't even spot that myself.
Neither did I until just now.
No. Anyway, that was the end of the act. Where's my button? Oh, there you go. Here's question time.
Okay, so question 2. Deanna was showing elevated levels of what? A. Ferrozine, B. Isoboramine, C. Psilocybin, and D. Hydrazine. I'm not even gonna. Yeah, that one. And how does Deanna's granddad tell his stories? That's the bonus question. Psilocybin.
Psilocybin. That's it. Yes. And how did... it's not coming up.
So my one little trivia bit, you kind of already touched on a little bit, but the episode was Rightful Heir, where Worf was speaking to, or trying to see visions in the fire. The episode was Rightful Heir.
That's right.
That's where he, of course, sees Kalis come through, and they go into that whole situation. But that's my little bit of trivia for this act.
The bonus question's not come up in chat, Sean.
Oh, didn't it? Okay.
Right.
We'll post it in again.
Uh,
How did Deanna's granddad tell us stories? That's the question.
Okay,
Yeah, I've put it up to live chat and it doesn't seem to. I put it in twice.
Doesn't like it, does it? It's not going in. It's not going in.
Okay, third time it seems to be there.
Okay. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Don't ask me.
Oh no, that was Time Lord. No, that wasn't you. I don't know.
What
I
did I
have
do?
no idea. Don't know what's going on with that. Never mind. Do we know who this guy is?
Yeah, he's the gay rapist from Shawshank.
He's the gay rapist from Shawshank. That's all right. He was also in Aliens.
Yes, he was. He had the smart gun. He was Vasquez's boyfriend. Now I can't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about. I did not put that together.
He was Private. I must say, like, not Dart, or it's a very short name. Hawk?
I'm
No.
looking it up.
Dart? No.
Private Drake.
Mark
Drake.
Rolston is
Not
the...
Dart, Drake. That's it.
Yep.
Private Drake.
And the woman who played Vasquez, his opposite with the other smart gun, she played the Jeanette Goldstein. She was in Terminator as John Connor's adoptive mother, and in Star Trek Generations as one of the Enterprise B's bridge crew.
He was in Babylon 5 episode The Quality of Mercy in 94, same year.
So like I say, he actually was in. He starred in that literally a month after filming this, and he was in the episode where Maz will know it's in the first season where they find the ancient device for healing people, and that old lady from Lost in Space wants to heal all the down below people by giving her life through this machine.
Yeah, well, Bill Mummy was in it as well. He was also from Lost in Space. He was Will Robinson.
And they
was in
never
Deep Space
shared a scene together.
Oh.
They had them both there.
Oh, why would you do that?
I know.
Oh.
They didn't share a scene together. Terrible was that, wasn't it? And do you want to know a tiny little fun fact about this guy? His very first acting role was actually a voiceover role. He played a character in the Japanese puppet animation Starfleet.
Oh.
What?
Do you know what that is?
I don't. There's a Starfleet puppet show. I've seen a lot of Trek, but I've never seen a Starfleet puppet show.
It's got nothing to do with Star Trek.
Oh.
It's just called Starfleet. Yeah. He plays the ginger guy over here. He's like a fat ginger guy.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was, he was called Lee something. Lee
He was in
Rogers,
2 episodes of Enterprise as well. And, yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. He was on, he was on the X-Files and everything.
Yeah, he's on X-Files.
CSI,
Yeah, if you look all the way
Murder,
down the
She
bottom,
Wrote.
you look all the way down the bottom, you'll see Starfleet was his first. I hope, anyway. You're going to tell me I'm wrong now, but
Yeah, Aliens, Mark Drake.
yeah.
Lethal Weapon 2. Oh. Robocop 2.
RoboCop 2. He was in RoboCop 2.
Eraser.
Oh, he was the South African in Lethal Weapon 2. Hans.
Well, one of many, I'm sure.
He was Hans. Yeah.
Just been revoked, not that guy.
Not that guy. No. He was one of his henchmen. Like, yeah.
Oh, he's in The Departed. Okay. I forgot that.
Hey, he's been in a lot of things.
He was
And
actually in the documentary, the guy who was in that thing.
The guy who was in that thing.
Oh, if you've not seen the documentary, it's very interesting. But basically, everyone in it was a guest star in Star Trek at some point. One of them was one of the Cylons.
what did we do before IMDb, watching these shows? Go, I recognise him.
I think we had better memory. I think we all were able to pull up stuff. We were like, yeah, wasn't he in so and so? Just like we did now, where everyone in the conversation ends up building up their entire resume.
Now we have Google. Yeah, now we have our Google brain. Yeah.
Guess now we only go, was he the one who did that? No, you're mixing him up with that guy. That's what it is now. And then open up IMDb to make sure you got the faces right.
He did a voice in Star Trek Resurgence last year, Portal 63.
And he was in Star Trek Continues.
Nice.
Yeah. Everything. What about this woman here? Got anything about her? The woman that was...
Nancy Harewood. Let's have a look at her.
Nancy Harewood. She is Troy's understudy.
She was also...
that's the wrong one. Sorry.
She plays 2 characters in this episode.
How does she?
She does. She plays an alien, one of the lieutenants, Lieutenant Junior Grade Nara.
Oh, she's Nara as well as this character. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, she's like she's Troi understudy like for all 7 seasons of Star Trek. So they had to get a different person in to be the Troy's understudy for this episode.
I'm just looking up now. She doubled for B'Elanna as well.
Excuse me. We need a repeat of the bonus question, really quick, verbally.
How did Deanna's granddad tell us stories?
How did Troy's granddad tell her stories? Oh, I haven't answered any of the questions.
Oh, I didn't realize Smiler was asking us to say it in the chat. I thought she was saying, somebody say it again, like daring somebody. Say bonus question again.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at IMDb and all about the actors.
We were in our own little world.
Sorry.
We were just, we weren't ignoring you on purpose.
I posted it in 3 times. I don't know why it's not coming up in the chat, but it's not happening. No. All right. All right, sorry, we're on a mad tangent talking about actors and actresses. Yeah, you're one. She doubled for Roxanne in Voyager as well as a stand-in for her on top of everything else.
Yeah. So yes, they had to get a different understudy in. It was I think it was something like the second unit director, one of the directors of the episode actually was Troy's understudy in this because her understudy had quite a prominent role, which is quite unusual. So
you know
I've
what?
got answers to the questions then, Sean. Oh, sorry, Tom.
Sorry, I just needed to say something. I was wrong. She is not the same person.
Oh, she's not.
She's not. Nora Leghart is the person who plays that woman. Nancy Harwood is Nara. The person that you just had up the picture, she's uncredited. It just says woman.
Yeah.
As woman.
Right.
Well, they gave her lines, and if they gave her lines, they have to pay her. So, they have to pay her a hell of a lot more money, like 5 times the money if she does the lines.
It does look like she was in the show several times, though, and in Voyager. Sorry, I interrupted. Not to interrupt.
No, I think if you're like an extra, you get like 300 a day, 500 a day in today's money. But if you get a speaking role, it's at least 2,000 a day. It's just there's a huge jump.
Okay, answers to the questions then, Sean?
Yeah, so it was psilocybin, and it was telepathically.
Telepathic. Do we know who answered? We got Ruth, Mr. Tavikins, me, was it Tavikins? Did Maz? Oh, Maz. Stuplum. I think it was everywhere. Everyone said telepathically, didn't they? Time Lord, did you say telepathically?
I did. I also kind of ranted about how I think it's messed up that that's how they do it. I guess Betazoids are just more cool about it. But, that seems really invasive to me. Granddad just comes in and says, okay, he just stares at her like,
Yeah.
And she gets a moral story. That's terrifying for a kid.
Well, I would say, go on, sorry.
No, it turns out that she said that he rarely spoke. He didn't actually speak. He literally spent his entire life communicating telepathically. Speaking was for off-worlders,
Well, there's still a few people, and I mean numbering in the dozens at best, in Ireland that refuse to speak English, that actually still only speak Irish. No, that won't be passed on the next generation, but there's a few that are so staunch that they're like, no, not learning, don't want to know.
You never know, though, do you? Because Welsh is making a big comeback from almost being dead.
Oh, I mean, it's surviving in pockets, but I mean, the people actually couldn't speak English at all. I mean, anyone who can speak Irish can speak English. Because you just can't get around without it. There's little pockets of there's more Polish speakers in Ireland than there are Irish speakers. So it's just you you'd sooner get around with Polish. So
I'm spinning the wheel.
Yeah, you have to speak English. Long story short.
It's Stupum! Stupum's broke Maz's stranglehold on the wheel this evening. Yes.
That's okay. Manza made her points back. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Okay, Act 3. So Troi comes down from the catwalk. She's feeling a little bit confused. She is laughing behind a door. So she goes to open it, and she sees two people kissing. At first, they looked a little shocked that she walked in on them, but then they started to laugh at her. She turns around, and she bumps into Wolf, who's reappeared, and she tells him she wants to get out of there. Later in the observation lounge, she tells them what she saw. Troi realizes that the people were all looking directly at her, so it was like she was seeing these visions through somebody else's eyes. She also mentioned the odd-looking bloke that she saw at a bit of a jaunty angle, but that man looked familiar to her for some reason. The doc thinks she can give Troi an inhibitor to help her go back to the room and investigate further without getting overrun by visions. It will take her around 16 hours to make the inhibitor. Later on the bridge, Worf is late to helping with the investigation due to issues with transporting the medical supplies. Troy's going through the personnel records, and eventually she finds the man, Walter Pierce. And he is currently serving on the Enterprise in engineering. Henshu! 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 Henshu!
Oh, I think you have an pollen attack there.
He's acknowledged.
He must be pregnant.
Sergeant.
Crumbs.
I used to have a gunnery sergeant who would respond to every sneeze with "sneeze acknowledged."
Sneeze acknowledged. Yeah, you got to hold the bless you part until I'm finished, because you're never quite sure. You know, you got to.
Well, I was once in class in school, and I was letting in a whopper of a fart because the teacher was going on a huge rant, and I didn't want to, I really, really didn't want to interrupt his flow. Anyway, I couldn't hold it forever, and he just goes, "It's time to get serious around here," and I let out this massive. Just as he said it, like it couldn't have been better comic timing, and he just goes, "Yes, Sean, do you have something to contribute?"
Shit as always.
And I'm sitting there with a red face in my own shame, but the whole class is erupted,
Yeah.
I couldn't have done it on purpose, but it was brilliant.
I remember one of my first times going into the student union when I went to university. I went to the student union for one of the first. I think it was the first time me and my mate Sean went down to the student union, and there was quite a few people in there, like 50 or so, but next to the hundreds that are in there in the evening, it was relatively quiet. And I sat down around the edge of the union bar. There were like these wooden benches, and I sat down on one and accidentally farted. I didn't mean to, it just kind of came out. And the bench I was sat on was wooden and hollow, and it acted like a sort of boom box. You could just hear it throughout the whole of the student union. So everybody just looked at me, and I was just like, oh, that's it's a way to go to make a first impression in your university.
I once brought a call center with about 300 people in it to a halt. So the floor was kind of raised to allow for cables and heat and stuff, and they had these kind of little air vents, and there was just a tiny little lip on them, and I was just rolling back to a seat behind me, and I managed to catch the lip just perfectly with one of the seats, and the whole chair toppled over. But I didn't just go over and bang. I kind of sat in the air for a second while I tried to balance. and then fell over. So I was kind of in the air for 2 or 3 seconds trying to get my balance back, just enough time for everyone to turn around and look at me, and then go over.
Draw maximum attention, and then.
There was 750 people across kind of 2 rooms, but basically it was just one big room, and they just hear this bang, and they just see someone kind of flailing on the ground. So yeah, about 250 customers on calls all at once, and the whole room just erupts. Well, what can you do? Stand up and take a bow, start waving to the crowd, blowing kisses.
What can you do?
What else can you do other than own it?
No. So yes, Troi has found her man, Walter Pierce, and in HD we can read all his the ships he was assigned. His first ship was the Chicago, and what his role is, the things he's done. So that's pretty cool. So they go and talk to him in engineering, and they ask him about working in the control room. But he doesn't remember much about that. It was a long time ago, 8 years ago or so. And he doesn't remember much details about it at all. All in all, though, he remembers the whole experience going really smoothly. Troi reminds him that she can sense when people are lying. But Pierce is aware. He's aware of her reputation. They leave, telling Pierce to contact them if he remembers anything of interest, which of course he says he will. But by the look on his face, he doesn't seem particularly innocent.
He just has a face that says, "I'm the psycho."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's made a career out of it. As I said, the thing I recognize him for most is Shawshank, but I said RoboCop 2, Shawshank.
Yeah.
One of the bad guys in Lethal Weapon 2.
He's always a bad guy.
He's he's made a career out of being a bastard.
Yeah.
But you know, most people who play bastards are actually really nice guys, and they take it as a compliment. You know. You come up to him, you killed my favorite character. You go, oh, thank you so much. Because you know, you want people to hate you if you're playing a role that's supposed to be hated.
One person it didn't work for, because the old black and white films always had the bad guy in the black top hat with the twirly mustache, and he had the long face, and he just looked very. And when I was in the military, our chaplain comes in, and he looks like a 1920s villain in his uniform. I was like, dude had like the mustache. He had the long face. He looked like a cartoon, like the cartoon evil guy. And he was like, I know how I look. So I mean, I understand the irony of it, me being the chaplain, but he's like, I just have to roll with it. So if he'd have had his entire face done in red, he would have looked like a picturesque devil.
Well, I went to school with a guy for 5 years, and I never learned his real name. We just called him Jesus. He had a beard and shoulder length black hair, just tall and skinny. Walked around with a leather coat. Never learned what his name was. Everyone just called him Jesus. It's one of those things. You know, if you look like it, you gotta own it.
So they leave engineering. Worf escorts Troi back to his quarters, with Troi telling Worf that she couldn't read him at all, which is strange because he's apparently human. They decide to look into the Utopia Phoenicia engineering logs to see if they can dig up anything useful. So apparently, in her quarters, retrieving the logs is going to take some time. So Worf says, well, he should probably go and have a good night's sleep. And it's probably time for him to go because it's early. And they need to get an early start. And, you know, she agrees, yes, you should probably go then. She says good night. And he says good night. And then he takes her by the hand. And he doesn't go.
Takes her by something anyway.
He doesn't go at all. And they start kissing. And there's no blood being drawn or anything. No furniture breaking. Nothing like that. And that's the end of Act 3.
Although, to be fair, it was a fantasy. It's more of a Mills and Boons thing than the two-penis reality.
Question time.
Okay. Yeah, so the first question. How many hours does Crusher need to synthesize the inhibitor? No, sorry, that's a synthesis, but you know what I mean. And
We
the
got it.
A12, B14, C16, D18. And the bonus was, where was the Enterprise constructed?
Ah.
It has been mentioned a few times already in this episode. Obviously, those data clones F8 kind of blew the place up in Picard.
Mr. Time Lord, what's your have you got a thing a goof or a trivia for this act?
I do. So this is just kind of very on the face, but this episode continues the season 7 trope of romance between Worf and Deanna. That's slowly it continues that storyline that we've seen in other episodes, and we will see leading up to the finale.
Yeah, the will they, won't they get together? Should they? Shouldn't they?
They're together in the episode. You know, you can't see the hand quotes in here.
Yeah, your hands are beaming in and out. It's it's crazy. But yeah.
I don't know how to use air quotes. Sorry. That was a Friends reference.
Well, you go, sorry. Yeah. Time again, it's not that much data in this episode for you, is there?
No, we're light on the Mr. BS, all right.
Yes, yeah.
Does anyone else have?
Actually, despite it not being a data-heavy episode, it was a nice data backstory chunk. So I remember when
he had his meaningful scene, yeah.
Yeah. So character backstory and development, I'm okay with that. I got a little bit of eye candy.
Although, yeah, you
we
see
just
his
had
long...
2 data-centric episodes.
You see his lanky long arms, and he does, he does remind me of, there's an episode in late in Voyager's run where the EMH has had like a crash because he made the decision based on emotion and not on he saved a patient because it was his friend, and not because it was, and he nearly explodes, and they reset his memory once and he finds out, and he has to go back and go through this whole episode of like this moral crisis of learning to live with it. And it would have been great if that little bit they'd expanded out to a whole episode in the same way, but it was nice, the little bit he had.
I feel like that's
maybe that's where they got the idea.
I feel like that's the conversation Data was having earlier in the episode where he said that he had.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. I agree. I like that thought process there.
It's very possible that's where they got the idea. They just expanded it. Maybe not. Maybe.
I thought it did some great groundwork for people who like to build headcanons. With, for example, like Wall, like when she did actually progress too quickly, why it would start collapsing. If he himself didn't have emotions and all this other stuff, she ends up, having her fatal flaw. And then you get to think about lore, and it's like, whoa, this is why you're insane. And so you're this, psychotic, homicidal death bot.
Yeah, well, it's kind of going to go completely off topic. It's kind of the message of Jurassic Park. If you get the knowledge too quickly, you don't appreciate it, and it causes death and destruction, pretty much. That's kind of the metaphor that lore, embodies.
I quite like the idea that it's super difficult to build a neural net successfully. That data is. Not necessarily unique, but a 1 in a million, chance.
It's special, like everybody that's born, like the odds that you would just exist and make it into adulthood. It's the same for him.
Oh yeah, well if you calculate any individual human being's odds, I mean, we have many hundreds of thousands of ancestors going back all the way through. Not just humans, but apes, and back to all sorts of fish and things. And the odds of any one human surviving is more than one in every grain of sand in the world. That any of us are here. If you actually calculate it out, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Astronomical odds.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Well, actually, very literally, yes.
As the token stoner, I think it's my job to say, "Whoa, dude!
Whoa, dude!" Yeah.
Like no way. Okay. Answers to the question, Sean.
So it was C-16, and it was in Idaho, of course. Oh no, sorry, wrong Enterprise. It was Utopia Planitia, money mess.
Where's Utopia Planitia?
Mars, or in orbit of Mars.
It's in
Were
orbit.
you referencing New Trek?
I referenced Star Trek 09 and Picard there, yeah, a little bit.
No, that went over my head.
What?
What was the reference? What was it?
He said the Enterprise was made in Idaho.
Oh,
In
in
the-
Idaho.
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
Ohio, excuse me.
Like
Iowa, I
Chris
thought.
Pine
Iowa.
version wasn't in.
Iowa. That's
Surely it would have been Iowa, because he's from
Yeah, that's
Iowa
the one.
and he works in outer space.
That's the one.
And there was a whole big thing about it because the car went off into a massive ravine, and apparently there are absolutely no ravines in Iowa. And they were like, how could that be in Iowa? There's no canyons in Iowa.
I'm like, it's an alternate reality. Of course, there can be anything.
There is in this Iowa. Yeah.
You have no idea what happened with that Third World War.
The alternate reality only happened in what year? Basically just when Kirk was born. So
I can suspend my disbelief that we have warp drives, but Lord forbid there be a canyon in Iowa.
Yeah. That was the
or
the eugenics war that happened in the 1990s. Yeah.
to be fair, in Picard, they made a fair effort of explaining that. That's basically the temporal wars have messed up those dates.
Yeah. Okay, did everybody get answers right then? We had Utopia Planitia, Utopia Planitia, Utopia Planitia, Planitia, Utopia Planitia, Planitia. I think everybody got it, didn't they? Mr. Tavikins, I don't think he put a bonus answer in. So everyone apart from Mr. Tavikins.
He said he was ready.
What? Did he?
I think he's having issues as well. His answers aren't showing up. He's entering stuff in chat.
He is? That's weird.
Came up just now.
Utopia Planitia.
The
There he
chat
is.
is
There
just
he is.
messing up.
I see you, sir. I see you. Yes, everyone's on the board
Yeah,
then. I'm
we
spinning the
seem to
wheel.
be just having the chat just don't seem to.
We're having technical difficulties with the YouTubes. Oh, and look at this. He puts one in there right at the last minute, gets the points like an absolute boss. Yeah, this is the power of the beard. Power of the beard. Act 4. We're into the home straight. Second to last act. Worf wakes Troi, and they're about to go for round 2 when Doctor interrupts them. First contacting Troi, telling her that the inhibitor is ready, and then Worf telling him the medical supplies are ready for transport. They're comically a little frustrated at being interrupted continually by the Doctor. In sick bay, the Doc administers the inhibitor.
Inhibitor,
Yeah. Worf's finished with the medical supplies, but Ensign Calloway calls him over as there's some other issue with it. So Worf tells Troi that he'll catch up with her later. This is Worf going over and talking to Calloway, joking about his uselessness, and Troi giving him the evil eye as she walks out of sick bay. In the control room, Troy's feeling fine as the inhibitor is working. Yay! Troi points out that in her vision, a bulkhead was removed. And Geordi confirms that it's the main ODN line. It was also the area that Quan was working on. So they go. Sorry.
You back it up. Did they forget to put makeup on the back of his neck? It doesn't look as opaque.
I think
Or
it's
is that
just.
a
Just rubbing off his collar.
I think it might be just because of the blueness of this light here makes him look ultra blue, and it's.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it looks all right.
Yeah, I suppose we have to remember back in the 90s they hadn't mastered LEDs. They hadn't had the three basic colors, so they couldn't. So like nowadays you can just adjust them into tiniest little gradients. But back then it was really an inexact science.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie here. Data is my favorite, but look at the silhouette on Jordy. Damn, dude is stacked.
Look at Kunta Kinte is have you ever seen him like in that Roots thing? That guy is all muscle and bone. But yeah, Data showing his lankiness. Look at that. Look at those arms. I mean, really, they go all the way down.
Okay, so they remove sections of the wall, and as soon as they do, Troi starts hearing and seeing things. She sees the vision of the guy and that again. Data scans the area and finds organic material embedded in the wall behind the bulkhead. And when they scan it, they find a corpse or a skeleton. It's like, at this point in the episode, I'm like, oh my god, they've been traveling around for 7 years with a skeleton embedded in a warp nacelle. Ew.
I knew something smelled funny back here.
Every time we go to warp, there's a funny smell. Yeah.
What does one snowman say to another? Do you smell carrots?
Oh.
Very
Okay.
good.
But then,
Oh. I have to put. I've got so much crap on my desk, I can't get to my buttons properly. I'm going to have to rearrange everything so I can get to it. In sick bay, the doc gives her another boost of the inhibitor, and Calloway sequences DNA from the bones that they found in the bulkhead, and she finds that it belongs to an Ensign Maria Finn, the girl Troi saw in her vision. But they realize that Quan arrived on the shipyard 6 months after she disappeared. They realize it must be Pierce, and she was seeing his face through a reflection. To be fair, I'm never going to find it now, but you could tell that because
just before you move, I'm going to say Planitia is misspelt on that as well.
maybe we're all spelling it wrong, and in the future they just spell it differently.
Yeah, that's the way it is in the tech manual, or with the E.
You should have got it. Look, 'cause his badge is on the wrong side. See, it's obviously.
Oh no, maybe I'm
reflection.
wrong. Sorry, it is spelled that way. Okay, my mistake. Oops.
So it's obviously a reflection. Look, 'cause the badge is backwards. Duh. Didn't think of that, did they?
Okay. But the show, when she stares into it and she goes, "That's what I saw." The show Black Mirror. Is based on that exact thing. It's a reflection through, a black mirror.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well ahead of his time in that respect.
If anyone Quan, Danny Quan. Oh, very, very good. Very good, Steve Plum, yes. But they realise, oh yeah, no, I said that. So, yes, it must be Pierce. God damn it. We saw his reflection. They decide to go question Pierce again. Upon leaving, Worf thanks Calloway for all her help. He singles her out especially. In the turbo lift, Deanna asks Worf if he regrets the previous evening, but of course he does not. He wants to know what's wrong with her. She says she's not feeling herself, so Worf decides to go question Pierce alone. Troy's going to go back to her quarters to get some rest. But then, not long after arriving in her quarters, Pierce arrives unannounced. Dun 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 dun. That is the end
You
of
go
Act
back
4.
a photo one moment.
Yep. Oh, no, that was back to...
So Michael Dorn's face there says he's reached for Deanna's pleasure.
That is true. He is. Yeah. Doubly so.
Well, double
That's
D.
my oh my joke of the week.
I'll find it. Hang on, where is it?
Oh.
There you go.
Oh my.
Okay.
Okay.
His arms, the psycho guy, his arms look as long as Data's in that photo. Sorry for the question.
Which photo?
I was.
Oh, that one. He's he's got long arms.
He does fill out the uniform well, although you can tell it's not fitted to him properly because he's a guest star. It should be taken in at the waist a small bit, but still, he looks well then. Guy's in shape. So, first question: what kind of candidate was Deanna interested in? A. EPS, B. Binaural, C. Warp plasma, D. deuterium. And the bonus question: you see Worf making breakfast, but what fruit juice does Worf traditionally drink? Sometimes referring to it as a warrior's drink. And I'll tell you, it helps keep you regular.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, no, that wasn't right. Go again. Hey, here we go.
I was like, wait a second. I know this one.
I guess chat's screwing up for me now. I keep pressing in.
I don't know.
What
Weird
was
things
it?
happening. Prune.
What was Hitler's favorite drink in the morning? Glass of juice.
Oh, Sean. Sean, you're really trying
Hey, I
to turn
didn't
the
do it.
stream off.
Hey, I didn't do it.
It's a good job you're not Scottish.
No, we've had a. Oh yes.
Yeah. So, anything Time Lord from this
yes.
act?
I do. So, the prop that Geordi uses when they're in the nacelle control room
Oh yeah.
is the same prop that they used in the episode Phantasms. It's the interphasic
Oh, I didn't see it.
scanner.
Yeah, I've got a picture of it.
It looks like a
It's just
tricorder mixed with a gun. Like he's got or like a drill, you know, like he's got a handle to it.
It's a flashlight with a head on it, with maybe some sort of mirror, so that the
Is it
light
what with a
shines
head on it?
and flashlight.
Oh, flashlight. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I used the American term. I meant torch. It's
Oh,
a torch.
right, yeah, sorry, yeah. That's,
With
I'm glad you said it's like a flashlight. That's there it is for anyone who's
torch.
interested.
I use an Americanism. I hate myself. A torch. It's a torch with like a 45-degree angle mirror and some sort of lights or gel on it, as they call it in the biz. When you put a colored sheet of plastic to change the color, they call that a gel.
So this was last seen in the episode Phantasms, although I'm not sure what it was in that exactly.
No, it was a scanner to see the little blood-sucking things on their body. They kind of scanned it.
Oh yes,
Oh,
yes, that's
yes,
right.
that's it. Yes, yeah, I remember.
Yeah. But you can tell it's a 90s torch, you know, by the size of it. It's pretty huge. Do you remember when torches used to have those giant like C batteries and you need like 6 of them?
So we had those
Definitely
in the
one of
Marine
those.
Corps. We had standard issue, and we called them torches also. But that was, that's not common in America. That's just what the Marine Corps called them.
Yeah. Probably because the Marine Corps inherited from the British Navy or
Yep.
the British Army.
A
way
lot
back
of
in
our
the day.
words come from that, yeah.
Air Force did that as well. We had torches with those big ass batteries.
Hang
And
on,
you
I
had the
think I
little
might have
red
one.
disc
Hang on.
that you put in so you get the red light.
Yeah, well, the good thing about them as well is, if you needed to hit someone with it, they would do it, it would work. You know, if you didn't have time to reach for your gun, you hit someone with one of those things and they have those big, heavy batteries in them, you know, you do damage.
Oh.
We lost Monty.
My torch
No,
is
he's
really,
still there.
My torch is really big though. It's not quite.
Go on, shine it right in the camera there. All right.
I've got a
Murphy,
flashlight.
make
in
the
my-
obvious,
as my phaser.
innuendo comments that you created. Those
That's
openings.
why. That's because I accidentally used the American word instead of calling it a torch.
But you're right. It's got the. I've just
Oh
dropped
yeah,
one
it's
on
got
the
the
floor.
it's got like a kilo of weight in it.
Yeah, it's
So-
got the big ass batteries in it. You know, the D's.
Yeah. Oh,
This
they're
little
Ds.
flashlight I've got here.
The C's are the square ones. Okay.
This is a tactical flashlight. It's designed so that you can smack it into something, and it's got these ridges here that'll like it'll cause some hurt. Tactical flashlight, right? But it's
Tactical
also got
flashlight.
it's got like your standard toolkit of like little things that you can.
Oh,
Or
Swiss Army knife.
Swiss Army knife, and then it's got a little window shatterer here. So it's a good little.
Well, the
utility.
window shatterer could be a lifesaver in the right conditions.
And it's got a seatbelt cutter also. Like it's designed to be a multi-purpose, all-in-one, keep you alive tool.
That's pretty funky.
That's pretty cool.
I got it because I like Doctor Who, and I can't have a sonic screwdriver, but I can have a really cool flashlight.
Hold on a second. You like Doctor Who?
No.
No, really.
The Tim Lord?
Right. I could have got that.
There, I'll give you my Doctor Who background there for a bit. With the time rotors playing away there.
Nice.
Tabby is still completely lost. Doesn't know.
Can you name the Doctor?
Tenth Doctor.
Yeah, that's 10th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless that. The only thing is if it has like the leather band, then it's Rivers, because the 10th Doctor gives, or 12th Doctor gives her a copy of the 10th Doctor's, but it's got a little leather band around it. to make it
Smiler
look
Rainbow.
different.
Have you got that one handy?
Yeah.
I've got the Temps and the Smiler Rainbow. I think it's got the River version.
Yeah, the 12th Doctor deliberately hands her a sonic screwdriver, but the real purpose of handing it to her was it just like copies her, so he can basically, after she dies, he can keep her running in a computer, so he can go and visit her in the holodeck anytime he wants. He pretends it's a gift, but it's really just a backup.
Currently.
He knew his wife was dying, so he made a backup. Oh my god!
There you go.
Yeah, it is.
So
It's messed up when you think about it, but that's exactly what happened.
River Songs, 10th Doctor.
Oh, nice. I like
Nice.
Rivers.
There you go. And then I'm back.
It's back next week. It's back next Saturday. Saturday next week.
Yay.
People are already upset. It hasn't even come out, and people are upset online. It's like, give it a chance.
Yeah, Russell T Davies is making it. You don't say
Like,
that
I
good
liked
Doctor
the
Who.
last special. I thought they did a fantastic job. The Goblins,
me
I
too.
thought it was hilarious.
I don't
And,
have a
yeah.
TV. I don't have a TV license, so I can't watch it. So I'm just. I'm out of
Neil
it.
Patrick Harris was amazing.
I'm sorry, that still
fantastic.
cracks me up. I'm sorry. I've always heard about the TV license
Yeah.
thing, but we don't need a license to own a TV.
Although it'll be on Disney Plus, won't it? So I think I can watch that.
No, it won't be on Disney Plus in the UK. It's on Disney Plus everywhere but the UK.
But with a VPN.
And it'll work, yeah.
And now a word from our sponsor, NordVPN.
Yes, NordVPN. Yeah, brilliant. Anyway, answers to the questions, Sean.
Yeah. What do we have? It will see war plasma. It's not mentioned in the episode, but they're in the nacelles, so clearly it's war plasma. And yes, it was prune juice. Keeps you regular.
It was warp plasma, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I think a lot of us got that wrong.
Oh, really? Oh,
I thought I got.
I think.
Oh, Mazza put down war plasma, so that'll work.
I think it was.
Yeah, I put more plasma. I got it. Ah.
Yes, Time Lord, and Maz. The only people that got that right.
Well, I mean, it has to be war plasma. It's
And the beard.
cells.
And the beard. Well done, beard. Done very well. Very well. Oh, let's spin the wheel. What about prune juice? Everybody get prune juice? We got Time Lord, Smiler. Oh, Smiler got prune juice. Oh, so that's a change. I'm gonna have to change this already. So we got Smiler on there. She got one. Smiler, Roof, Tabbykins, Mr. Tabbykins. Everyone but Maz, actually. Maz. Oh no, prune juice. She got in there eventually. So everyone actually, and including Smiler. So yes, lots on the board this time. Let's see who's gonna get those extra points, or are we gonna all lose them all? It's the Time Lord.
Tim Lord.
I was like, oh, it's gonna go past me. No.
I've spelt it right this week, Sean. I've spelled it right.
Just out of curiosity, right? Kate Mulgrew and Robert Picardo are coming to Dublin in August. How much do you think it is to get a photo with the two of them together?
Who is it?
Kate Mulgrew and Robert Picardo.
Okay,
So-
so Doctor and Captain.
Captain Janeway, yeah.
I'm gonna guess somewhere in the line of $500.
No, it's not anywhere near that bad. $113.50. Or you can get if you get a photo with each of them separately, it's the same price as getting one with both of them together. And it seems like it makes better value sense to get both separately than get one with both.
And you said they're coming to the UK.
Sorry, no, they're coming to Ireland. Don't make that mistake. We've had enough wars over. We'd have wars over that.
Yeah, things are quiet at the moment.
I thought you said Ireland and something else.
The United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. I live in the Republic of Ireland, which is like 5/6 of the landmass.
Completely different thing.
Don't worry about it. But yeah. Sorry, I've derailed the conversation. Please go on.
Act 5. That's where we are at. It's the final act. The final act. Yeah, Act 5.
Yeah, and Brent came in 2018, and I only found out afterwards.
Damn it!
Renee came for a weekend, and I didn't go to see him, and then he died like 6 months later. And I'm really
Where's my
annoyed
button?
with
Where's my button?
Shut up, Sean.
There it is.
it. There we go.
So, Act 5. Pierce is like, I'm reporting as ordered. Worf was busy, apparently. Troi checks the computer and finds Worf's location, and he's in Ensign Calloway's quarters. So, security come in and take Pierce away. Troi heads to Calloway's and uses a security override to open the door. I think that's a bit of a misuse of command privileges there, really. Opening up another person's door without real reason.
Well, you'll notice she's not wearing her command uniform there.
That's right. Still,
Well, as a commander and as a the ship's psychologist or psychiatrist, whatever it is, for medical reasons, in case someone's committing suicide, she should be able to override any door. I realize it's an abusive process.
she has the right to do it, but
She has the authority.
circumstance.
She doesn't have the right.
Yes, she has the authority. Considering she's just been promoted.
But you can abuse your authority. Yeah. Exactly.
Wait, to be fair, it's not just a matter of authority. It's also a matter of Starfleet has really lax security protocols. In fact, they bring this up in the season 2 episode where the guy, they have the cryo or the people that were in cryo, and one of them goes up to the intercom and just like, I want to talk to Captain Picard. And Picard's like, who told him he could use the intercom?
That's right.
Yeah,
they do. Yeah.
I work for a bank, and if I want to go into one of the bank's buildings of a Saturday, and I buzz my card, I like have to talk to an intercom, and I have to talk to someone in a security office, and they have to like let me in. You know what I'm talking about? There's like that second layer of authentication where you have to speak to someone. You can't just decide it on your own. It's always two people that make a decision. Or, you might say four-eyed in some businesses. It's always four-eyed. It's never one person alone gets to make a decision or do something like that.
The Q comes along and takes the Picard off the ship, and a shuttle transports them both into the middle of nowhere. Guardian's like, is everything right? And so they check, and they're like, computer, where's Captain Picard? And the computer's like, oh, Captain Picard's not on the ship.
You'd think that it should have told Riker immediately, hey, your commanding officer is gone. You are now in charge.
And the shuttle has disappeared. Doesn't warn anyone.
I mean, there's 1,000 or so people on the ship. There must be at least 40 or 50 security officers. I mean, how is there not a control room monitored 24/7? And if a comm badge loses connection to the ship, that after 2 or 3 minutes, that someone suddenly starts monitoring it. But you go, hey, where's Cisco? And like, oh, Cisco left the ship 17 hours ago. Like, why are you only telling me this now?
Yeah.
Or when other entities have entered the ship, like when the Ferengi took over or whatever. I don't understand how the ship doesn't go into red alert. We have intruders on the ship. They're more life forms than registered.
And every bulkhead has its own force fields that they can just jump in and just lock them in. But no, they just walk around, no problem.
Stublum says it's not real. Shut up, Stublum. You can't say that.
It's real to me, damn it.
It's real to us.
You know what it is? Riker gets a notification, but he doesn't care, so he just is constantly swiping it away,
Yeah. Anyway, so Troi heads to Callaway's and uses her security override. She finds them kissing. Smoochies. And again, they're kind of shocked, but then they start laughing at her. Oh, I missed a picture. Sorry. I couldn't miss Worf's laughing face, because that was pretty cool. And then, of course, she yells at them to stop it. Stop it. But they do not. They do not stop. So she grabs a phaser that's lying on the side. It's set to kill automatically, and she shoots Worf. It's set to kill with a small wound.
And aim a little bit down. And not shoot in the direction you're pointing at.
I've always thought about this, how the aiming for the phasers work, and I've got to figure that there's some sort of AI technology inside the phaser that kind of works and says, okay, there's a certain number of targets in front of me. This must be what they're aiming for. Because they never line it up. They never do that. They just kind of hold it and gesture in the general direction like that's supposed to work.
Well, maybe there could be like a D-pad so you can like push it forward for the beam to go down or push it back for the beam to go up. Like a little D-pad like you'd have on a PlayStation controller. But
it's got built-in AI that automatically knows what you're supposed to be firing.
But she's clearly pointing it straight over his head. She's not holding it properly.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's adjusting for her lack of aim.
Bad aim.
Might have target lock on it.
It's got what is
she
it?
made commander and she can't fire a phaser. I mean, it's kind of basic 101 stuff.
What is it you get in Fortnite where it automatically shoots the enemy?
Well,
auto aim or aim assist.
Auto aim, aim assist. Yeah, she's got the aim assist turned on. Yeah.
Talking about, it's got to be a requirement as a commander. In the military, in the Marine Corps, I don't know how it works in the Air Force, but in the Marine Corps, we'd go to the rifle range once a year, and we had what was called the pits, and there was somebody in the pits that would put the target up, and they were sitting under a berm, so no bullet could ever hit them. They'd put the target up, we'd shoot at it. Then they'd pull the target down, mark where it hit, and then put it back up so we could see it. And we used to call it pit love when somebody in the pits was changing the score slightly, like, oh, that bullet didn't land there, it landed in the 5 ring. That's pit love. So, somebody gave Deanna some pit love on her training. When it came time for scoring, they were just like, no, she passed the test. It's good.
My father was a company sergeant, which is I think equivalent to like a staff sergeant. Like he was like the senior enlisted in a company. Like I think an E7 is probably the way to call it. Anyway, different ranks, different militaries. Point is, but he went in the ordnance survey. He did like his basic military training, and then he just made maps after that. But he still had to go out to a range twice a year, and he had to supervise the range because he was the senior NCO. But also he was supposed to shoot his own score. And he said after the first 2 years, and he was in the army for 23 years, he stopped scoring. He just picked the guy with the best score and said, "Here, have some extra practice."
Yeah.
Let them do the shots. And similarly, if there was a guy who was sick that day or something, instead of having to bring him out to a range on his own a different day, he'd just go, "Hey, you're him, and you shoot for him today."
Yeah, as Toby says, chick ain't laughing now. Calloway's surprise at the turn of events. She didn't see that happening. So, Deanna throws the phaser that's currently set to kill to one side and runs off, bumping into Pierce on the way. He tells her she knows what she has to do. Yes, Wolf was laughing. It's crazy. She jumps into Jeffrey's tube and climbs all the way up to the top of the warp nacelle to the control room, and she's about to throw herself into the plasma chamber when Worf stops her. It turns out it was just all one big vision. He's like, "What are you doing?"
Okay, so now that we know that it's a vision, I can say my theory that I think that the vision has been going on since the first time she was up there, not the second, but the first time she went up there, before Riker and Worf had their little conversation. And that the reason why they were acting so strange during that conversation is because that's her imagined perception of what must have happened. Because she imagines Riker in his seductive, his charming outfit, which is how she sees him. And then she imagines Worf doing the honorable thing instead of doing the Klingon thing and doing the Klingon mating rituals. He does the honorable thing. He goes because that's her perception of him. So
I kind of like that one.
I like it. The only thing is, though, it's he does say that he recounts that he opened the door as she requested, and then, she stopped responding to him. So it does kind of imply that it was from that point. But anyway, later Data confirms that Pierce was indeed partially telepathic. His grandmother was from Betazoid. She was a Betazoid. They were all killed in a plasma discharge. It turns out that they thought was an accident, but it turns out that Pierce found out they were having an affair, so set it up to look like an accident. And all three of them died. Geordie enters and tells them they didn't find any body behind the wall, but they did find a psionic signature, and it's probably that Troi was picking up, and that gave her the visions.
I don't know why you would try and hide what happened if you're just going to kill yourself anyway. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
and if you're that upset you're going to kill your lover, her lover, and yourself, the premeditation needed to think rationally to cover the whole thing up just seems a bit convoluted. A little bit.
They go to the bridge. Worf questions Troi as to why she was so surprised to see him alive, but Troi explains that in her vision he had died. Worf wonders how that happened, and Troi replies cryptically, "Hell has no fury like a woman's scorn." And the episode ends with Worf looking puzzled. Oh, look, you've not seen any of these pictures and nobody said anything. Nobody said anything. That whole act we've been through and not one picture has changed and nobody...
I just assumed you knew what you were doing, dude.
Oh my god.
It's okay. It's only been out of 4 years. It's fine.
I don't know what I'm doing. I just boomed it, haven't I?
To be fair, you've got your natural tones make a great radio voice. So you carry a lot of gravitas.
Oh well, so she was surprised. She ran off and met Pierce in the corridor.
Awkward hug.
Awkward hug. She jumps in the Jeffries tube. Yeah. She goes up to the warp nacelle. She's going to throw herself in the plasma thing.
Wait, that is a gorgeous ass shot. Is that her?
Gratuitous butt shot. Yep. Glorious ass, but
that is
butt shot.
Yeah. I'm gonna be a little bit of perv here and say,
yeah,
Marina. Yeah, you can film my Marina any day. Nice.
Data confirms that they were all killed in a plasma accident, but it was not an accident. Geordi comes in and tells them about the psionic signature. They go out to the bridge, and Deanna tells him cryptically, "Hell have no fury, like a woman scorned." And Worf ends up the episode looking confused. There we go. That was all your pictures. I got there. I'm sorry about that. Messed that up, but
without any of it being about Data, I completely did not even catch that the photos weren't changing.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, well, as I said, in the earlier seasons, they were worse at this, but as the show went on, they got better at it, and they go, every so often, they just put you in one scene, and then they leave you off. So if there was 10 days of shooting, you'd only be in one day, and you get a week off, every 5, 6, 7 weeks. You still have 14-hour days for 6 weeks, but you get a week off here and there.
You think after this show had been going on for so long, I'd be getting better at it, wouldn't you, really? That's the thing. After 2.5 years, I still can't get it right.
And bear in mind, Brent had 2 back-to-back episodes where he was in pretty much every scene, so a week off was much needed. He just had to do that one day shooting for about 4 hours, and he was done. And also Brent had to do makeup, so he had like an hour and a half, well, maybe an hour more in the morning and half an hour in the evening more than everyone else. So he couldn't just go home. He needed help. One
thing I noted is they had this one very quick, she bumped into him and then ran into that orange door at the back there, which is the Jeffries tube. But this is like the wide engineering set,
Yeah,
they cover up the engineering. They take the the computer panels off the wall. They put down the blast screen. But I thought, and that's a lot of effort, isn't it? Just for this quick. It lasts maybe 5 seconds. This entire scene. And they had to redo the whole engineering set just for that one 5 seconds.
I don't think it's that difficult.
I do have some more trivia.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Okay, go for it. Sorry, I didn't say the questions out loud, so just let me do that and then we'll move on. What was the name of the ensign Worf was flirting with? A. Cabot, B. Crusher, C. Calloway, D. Chulak. And the bonus question: is there enough data in this episode? Sorry, please continue.
Sorry, no, I didn't mean to be rude there.
No. It's just because I just need to give everyone a chance to respond to the questions, so we can talk as much crap as we like once the questions are out there. Please go on.
So, couple things with Troi's hallucinations. You can tell they're hallucinations because there's a couple of odd things, like she doesn't wear her command uniform. When she shoots Worf, there are no alarms. There's nothing like that. There's nothing that would signify a negligent discharge has occurred on the ship.
Negligent discharge. Maybe not.
Yeah.
It's more of a Navy thing.
Yeah, so I like the way that they threaded that in there. Like, you can tell when she's hallucinating because of certain things that are off about the scenes. And the events in this story are referenced in a short story, Meet with Triumph and Disaster. The deaths are part of that story, the origin, I guess, therein. And that's a short Trek story. And then in the Star Trek: The Next Generation companion, they reference how most of the time imaginary scenarios are usually shown from the character's point of view, but this is broken when they show the conversation between Dr. Crusher as she's speaking with both Troi and Worf on the morning after they begin their affair. So basically, it's showing it from Dr. Crusher's perspective, even though this is Troy's hallucination. And then there's also a reference that an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer came out at a similar time with a similar theme of past love affairs that have gone bad, and the main character has to relive a ghostly affair of some kind. In the Buffy episode, it's it's high school sweethearts, and people.
The Sadie Robbins dance. Yes, that's a great episode.
And I guess that episode came out around the same time.
Is that a real thing?
That's what it says here. I'm not sure. I don't.
Yeah, no, but is a Sadie Robbins dance a thing that's done?
Yes, that's the episode. I Only Have Eyes for You is the name of it.
Yeah, but I just mean it like when you went to high school. Is that?
Yeah. We had a Sadie Hawkins dance when I was.
Oh, Sadie Hawkins. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sorry. Please continue.
No, that's the last production note that I had.
All right, and just as someone just on that last screenshot, someone who used to play rugby, like the actual form she has of trying to knock him over, it's just like, what are you doing? You know, get low, put the shoulder in. You don't have the weight advantage. Like, do better. So, I mean, she went to the academy for 4 years. She have to do like self-defense and tactical stuff. There's absolutely no way she was told to try and go through someone like that, because it doesn't matter what size you are. Like,
she just walked around the corner and bumped into him. She wasn't trying to push him over.
You hit him at the hip and you pull the knees towards you. I mean, even someone my size has to do it. But especially if you're small, you need to get low and just bounce off him.
And she also does Mukbara, as Ruth points out. She's Mukbara class.
In her defense, her knee is in between his knee, and that is a Krav Maga.
She's only going to bring that up.
Oh no! If she brought it around the back of his foot and then pushed him over, then she could kind of trip him. But that's not what she's doing. There is a way of doing that, and that's not what she's at.
She's got this. She's a commander now.
There's a trick to it. You have to do it. You have to keep eye contact, and then you have to push him straight in the chest. Not what she's doing.
Right.
All right. So sorry. Answers. So it was C. Calloway. Obviously wasn't Crusher, and Chulak was the guy who was shooting people on Deep Space Nine with the teleporting rifle, and. Is there enough data in this episode? Of course, there was too much. No, I'm joking. There was not enough data in this episode.
There are some things you don't joke about, Sean.
I'm just going to assume everybody got the bonus question right, even if they haven't answered.
I would think so.
Tab has a very select group of skills, and if you keep talking bad about data, she's going to utilize them.
I don't know if you use this term in the US. Do you have a term for someone within a political party that makes sure everyone votes the same way?
Oh, like the chief whip.
Chief whip, yeah.
No, they don't. They don't have that. No.
They don't have that. No. So basically, Well,
so
it's
someone goes
speaker,
around and I guess it's the kind of the speaker, isn't it?
Yeah. So someone in the party's job is to make sure everyone in the party votes along the party lines, and they're called the chief whip.
Antithetical to the. I mean, we have lobbyists, which is worse, I would say.
Yeah.
But we don't have anyone in the parties that. I mean, each party kind of does their own thing, but like. Each senator and House representative can choose to vote against that. Like, they're not forced to.
See, our system is we have more parties, but every party is expected to vote along party lines, and if you don't, you're kicked out. So, but anyway, the person who makes sure everyone votes along the party lines is called a chief whip. They literally whip people into voting the way they want, and Tavi is being a perfectly good chief whip on that one. In the comments, he was like making sure people are being whipped into doing the right thing.
I'm spinning the wheel, Sean.
Spin it.
I'm
careful,
still.
Sean.
Who's gonna get it? Who's gonna get these? Oh no!
Oh no!
Wind.
Although to be fair, everyone was on the wheel, so
I did put everyone on the wheels, so.
I love it. I don't think the beard was on the wheel.
Everyone was on the wheel.
that worked.
I decided whether you
Okay,
answered or
yeah.
not. I was putting you on the
Captain's
wheel.
prerogative.
Yes, everyone was on. Smiley was on there. The beard was on there. Everyone was on there. There we go. There we go. Okay, so the game's over. The score's being counted, I hope. I know, Smiley, you didn't answer, but I knew in your heart of hearts you would have said no. In the same way that I knew that the beard for Tavi in his heart of hearts would have said no. So
I'm not so sure about that. You can't take her
put you both on
sometimes.
there.
Captain's prerogative.
Yeah, that is probably. I couldn't be bothered to go through all the things and take them all.
My husband did say he would never dare to mess with the whole data thing. So yeah, he would have ended up.
Of
on the
course,
wheel.
he would not know. Yeah, so there we go. That is the end. The bingo's complete. Bingo's finished. The scores on the doors are being counted. Think about what you'd give this episode from 0 to 10. What would you rank it for this season? Yeah, and start thinking about those scores and put them into live chat. She's gonna. Smiling Rainbow's gonna Men in Black bleep me with the neuralizer.
Oh, I gotta pull
well-
up my notepad. Hold on. Give me a
Well, we
moment.
know what you would have answered because, as I said, you would have been whipped by Tavi had you not answered it correctly.
Yeah, we all knew what we had to answer for that bonus question.
I mean, it was a complete
Well,
gimme
Tavi.
question. Let's be honest.
Yeah. I considered doing a G star and just being the contrarian and just putting yes just for the fun of it, but I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
It's a shame you didn't because obviously we got a Wookiee on that.
Yeah, there would have been a lot less on the wheel. So yeah, so
I would have made sure that the 10 points wouldn't have been worth it.
was there any final trivias or anything that we've missed that we haven't covered already? Time Lord.
Nope, I do not have anything else. I am out of trivias. I had everything stored up for that fifth act, and then I blurted it all out, and that's it.
Yeah. I see. Actually, you're in the TOS.
Yes, EOS uniform, command division.
In the engineering section. There.
Yes.
But the lights on the ceiling. I don't know if I can. It might be easier if I go to back to here. Well, there's any pictures I can see initially of. In that
ceiling.
control room, there was lights on the ceiling that were very much like that. But I can't. Oh no, they're a bit bigger. No, they were a lot bigger. Ignore me.
Yeah, but you
That's what I'm
see
talking about.
those kind of rib things. They're used in Voyager quite a lot. They're used as
those
covers
things.
on. Yeah. But as I said, I'm not saying the set was reused entirely. I'm just saying the people that built that set went, I like this. Let's expand it out to make engineering. Obviously, this is a little bit cheap, and they vacuum formed it or whatever they did. It didn't cost
Well,
that
plus
much money to make
engineering
it.
was just engineering, wasn't it? It was the engineering set.
Yeah,
you know.
but to be fair, the TNG engineering set to the Voyager engineering set is night and day, but they occupy the same space. But Voyager is clearly superior. Sorry, don't hate me, but they really did a great job on it, expanding it out, making it look like a space that was 10 times bigger, even though it was occupying the same physical space.
The only thing I don't like is the warp core. I think the warp core's a bit boring. I like the rather than just.
I did. I liked how the audio engineer synced the sound of the vroom vroom with the lights.
You can't really
I get your point.
Because my chair's in the way. Oh, I'm kind of glitching there. But there's a thing right where my shoulder's at, about right here. Trying to maybe if I get down. There you can see it. That, I think, is the same chamber, but it's just really small on the TOS. And what we're seeing is the back of the ship there as it extends back. But I think that is the same chamber. It's still the warp core. It's just, it doesn't go up through the ship. It goes, that's got that little chamber, and then it goes.
It's established in Star Trek Enterprise that the core is vertical, so it's basically underneath the floor. That's just the conduits that is transferring the power to the nacelles. Pretty much. They do a what is it, a backronym or a retronym? They do a retcon where they explain that away. We did cover this. Sorry, not off camera. Yeah, no, off camera is correct. But you're roughly about 7 hours drive away from Ticonderoga. Have you been to the Star Trek experience up there?
Oh, no, it's that's in New York, and I don't travel much these days. I'm in Pennsylvania. I think the last thing I did was I went to the Monroeville Mall. That was about 3 hours away. And they have it's a festival. Well, it's a Day of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead, yeah.
They call it the Weekend of the Dead, and it's just basically a convention that takes place in the mall. I met Tom Savini and Ken Foray. It was a real lot of fun there. But that's about as far as I've gone from my house, and that's about 3 hours away. Ticonderoga is up there. I think we're talking like 9 hours up towards New York.
New York State, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, upstate New York. So you get to New York City, and it's still 2.5 hours away. So.
Yeah.
All right, one day.
That's like me driving from one end of this country right up to like the tip of Scotland.
You live way out in the southwest. So if you drove to the north coast of Scotland, which you've done before, you told me you had to pick someone up from a flight or something.
6 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be driving.
Yeah, pretty much the longest distance you can travel from one point to another in Britain, in a straight line roughly, is about that.
Okay, have you touched up all the points, Sean? Do you know?
Oh, Tavi's on points. Tavi, you're on mute.
Oh, you're on points, are you? Oh, that's right. Okay, that's all right then, as long as somebody's got it. Are we ready?
Right.
I've got points. So, the winner for...
Oh, hang on. Let me get the... Okay.
Math, right?
Oh, her face is saying no.
How did he get more than that? Okay, no, I see. Never mind. One was wrong. Okay. I'm ready whenever you are.
I'm ready.
The winner for this week's trivia is Tired Time Lord with 350 points.
10 points.
That's a first.
10 points to Gryffindor.
He's never topped a set before.
No, it's his first win.
Tied for second place.
Hold on.
Is Admiral
I take my hat off to you, sir.
And Tabikins.
9 points each, is it? Is that the way
Coming
it
up
works?
in third.
Hold on. 68 and roof. 9139. Okay.
third place, we have Monty, 315
Oh,
points.
143.
Right after that, we've got Mazza, 310. Who was lit kills. You only beat Mazza out because of bingo.
Oh, was it really?
It was close.
Wow.
Stu Plum is next with 295.
5 points. 1 for 1. No, was that right? Yeah, I guess so. 1 for 1. And then?
Next is The Beard with 135 points.
1 points. 72.
And lastly, we've got Smiler.
3 points. And that's 54.
And my goodness, I have a crazy. You know what? We didn't do the dad joke.
Oh, we're going to have to roll that over now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of dad jokes. Oh my God.
There were a lot of dad jokes this week.
I was really hitting the May theme.
Okay. We've got Tired Time Lord. What do you call a wizard who's good with ceramics? Harry Pottery. How did the pirate get his ship for so cheap? It was on sale. Which month can't make a decision? Maybe?
Maybe.
Can February, March? No, but April, May.
April, May.
And the next one. How can you tell what Jedi's that Jedi's like the month of May the most? Because they always say May the 4th be with you. What does May put on its pancakes? Maple syrup. And what do you call a snowman in May? A puddle.
Sorry, I didn't cover the.
Go ahead.
Go on, sorry. I was just going to say I didn't cover Trek news earlier on. The Skydance deal, buying a Paramount looks set to be closer, and until Paramount is bought out, we won't see any more Trek. So let's just hope it goes through. But I was really hoping Universal would take it, so they built a theme park, but that's not going to happen. And the other little fact is the Shuttlepod show, some of you may be aware of. Anyway, there was a bit of a breakup on that show, and the two guys from Enterprise walked away from the guy who was organising because apparently he was stealing money. But they're coming out with a new show called The Decon Chamber, and it's going to be out in 2 to 3 weeks, and we're going to see more Trek podcasts and more interviews.
So are both the co-hosts coming back? Is Reed coming back?
Dominic and Malcolm are coming back. Basically, the guy who was running it turned out to be a bit of a scam artist, and he was like robbing all the money. None of this is officially confirmed, but he's been in court cases where he's taken money from people to produce films and stuff, and the films never came out. And these guys got involved with him, and anyway, both of them walked away, and now they're starting it up again, but without him.
Oh.
So the Shuttlepod show was gone.
I was sad when Dominic left.
Yeah, well, the Shuttlepod show was gone, but they're doing a new show called The Decon Chamber, and it's coming out very soon.
Okay.
Talking about... Sorry,
I'll just finish the point and I'll leave you go. I was just going to say, I popped a question into the Shuttlepod show, and I asked George Takei a question, and he answered it, and I've never been so happy in my entire life. Go on.
Can we just, before we do anything more chatting, can we just get the scores out of the way? Just for those people that want to...
Sorry.
Then we can chat away about whatever you want to chat about, but let's just get the scores done so we can... So, have you got your paddles? You all got your paddles? Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Wait.
Boing.
Yeah, come on, there you go.
Not that one. That one.
A 6 or 9.
I'm really outvoted this week, so it's 6s and a bunch of 7s. 7.
Or that's a 1, maybe. I don't know.
So I was gonna say that talking about Paramount's potentially getting bought by somebody else. I heard a rumor that Sony was interested in buying them, and I would be interested in that because if Sony did buy them, the video game potential there, we have not had a good new Trek game except for Resurgence. Really, we got and even then,
Resurgence is Telltale game style. That's not a real game. It's just clicking
it's a
options.
fun game, but it's not what we all want to do, which is pilot our own starship.
Yeah, it's not Elite Force. It's not Starfleet Academy.
Yeah, and the reason why we're not getting that is because Starfleet Online is still making meager amounts of money, and as long as they can milk that, they're going to, and they're not going to have something come out that could compete against it in the blowing ships out of the water sphere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Star Trek Online isn't doing well. Are they barely making money? It seemed like a lot of people were in.
It's a 12-year-old game.
Yeah, I was going to say it's 12, 13-year-old. It's and they haven't updated the graphics. It's fairly janky. I played it for about 10 hours and I got bored with it. It's too hard.
I put in hundreds of hours in that game, more time than I probably should have, and.
Bear with me a minute.
I do like when someone dies, like when Rene Auberjonois died, they all like gathered in quarks and they held up like phasers shot in the air and stuff. They gives people a virtual place to meet. But yeah, I played it for 10 or 12 hours and I'm not a World of Warcraft kind of guy grinder, and I just yeah, I'm done with this.
We need a new space sim, and it's holding back the genre of Star Trek space sims because they're not going to make a single player one until Stowe is dead.
Oh, the merchandising, the lack of a theme park, the lack of shows, the lack of games, it's just not being monetized anyway correctly. I'm sure it can make 3 or 4 times the money it's currently making in the right hands. But it looks like this Sky on Steel is going to go through. They have like this, I forget what it's called, but like a negotiating window, and it's supposed to finish, I think, on the 3rd or the 4th, so like in 2 or 3 days. Now they can either extend it or they can announce a deal, but something's going to happen in the next week or so that we'll get some sort of news. But until they announce it, there'll be no more shows announced because they're not going to pay money for new shows when they're not going to sure if it'll be sold, and you spend 2 or 3 million on development and then it just gets cancelled. It just doesn't make sense.
I'm just trying to finish off the. We didn't get Mazza Bob before she disappeared. We didn't get her score. Stu Plum was a 7. Ruth was a 6. But Time Lord was a 7. So that equals the audience score as a 7. I don't know if Mr. Beard had a view on the scoring the episode.
He hopped into the shower.
Yeah, I'll model Mazram Bob, Mazram Stu Plum is off. I'll model Mazram Bob's as a 7, and that puts it very much at the middle ground for this season. It puts it on 6.8, which is very much. Definitely nowhere near any of the worst episodes, but also nowhere near any of the good episodes. It puts it in the same sort of region as Inheritance and Attached. There you go.
Well, do you want to know what comes up next week?
I know what comes up next week, Sean. It's Genesis.
You do? Yeah, exactly. Or Phil Collins, as it's known by a different name.
Yeah.
Yes. Spider.
Yeah. Not even a
Feel it coming in the air tonight.
Have you ever seen the Cadbury's advert for that?
Yeah, Time Lord didn't. But yes, I have, yeah.
It's great.
Sorry, I love how everyone just jumped on that reference.
It's a classic British.
Yeah,
It's a classic British chocolate advert for Cadbury's chocolate, which is a British chocolate brand.
Well,
It's just a gorilla playing that intro to that Phil Collins song.
the gorilla's just doing the drums on that, and I'll send it on to you, but I can't explain it. It's just brilliant.
I can't play it because it would they don't
Demonetize or whatever.
Actually I could, because it would just we'd be demonetized, but we're not monetized, so it doesn't really matter.
I mean, if Sean can get away with all the
2007
stuff he said.
Yeah, when our streams get like 50 views, I don't think anyone's watching that carefully.
No, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
I'll try to find it. Hang on.
What's that song? British Tar. The one that Data and
it's called the British Tar. Yeah, which is basically a word for a sailor. Monty was briefly pressed into the Navy. Very, very briefly into the British Navy.
I spent a couple of months on board frigate, on board HMS Cumberland, on NATO.
They gave him
in the Atlantic.
I don't know, what do they call it? A paper rank? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I was an MOD rank of lieutenant on board ship.
Yeah, he was there as a contractor, but they made him a lieutenant just to do his business.
It's very nice.
My son and I have been watching. We just finished binging all the Indiana Jones movies, and in two of them, that song comes up because John Rhys Davies sings it in the second movie, and then again in the fifth movie.
Oh, I lost everybody.
There you go. Oh, I think we lost Sean.
No, sorry guys. I was going to say I'll send you on the clip, but there's a great video of HMS Pinafore being done in a Star Trek style. So instead of at the bridge of a ship of a British Navy sailing ship, it's the bridge of the Enterprise, and it's just fantastic.
This is what we're talking about anyway. Can you hear it? Maybe
a little bit low.
I can't change it, I don't think.
Oh, don't worry about it.
I can hear it.
We can hear it. It's fine.
It's a great gorilla costume.
It's Phil Collins, but what's going on with this gorilla? Oh, God.
I like the way his nostrils flare as he he's ready for it.
Who would have predicted we'd end the stream on this?
Not me. This is a first. This is a first.
Yeah.
Don't leave me in suspense here. Keep it going.
I'm just eking out the suspense and also just breaking up the music just to help. The
also,
algorithm.
Can you believe this was 17 years ago?
I know.
Oh, God.
Oh, dear God.
He's limbering up.
Oh. That's great.
I don't know why it's so funny. It's just brilliant.
That's the entire advert.
This is advertising chocolate. I mean, other than the fact it's purple in the background.
Just Dairy Milk chocolate. Done. That was
I don't know why it just took over the world back in 2007. It was brilliant.
We loved it. I don't know why. But there you go. The gorilla.
I sent you a
guy in the marketing room going, we need to do this way. And I got an idea. It's a bit off. And we're just going to do this with a gorilla suit and a drum set. And people are like, what?
Yeah.
Wait, this is a meeting to sell chocolate. Yeah, no.
Hang on a minute. I'm just going to check the contents of your cigarette. Yeah.
Monty, if you want to just check the chat there, I included a link, and it's like a British Tar from like an actual production in England, but they're all dressed in TNG costumes on the TNG.
Is this in the private chat on StreamYard?
No, on Facebook. Well, I can put it on StreamYard.
Oh, on Facebook. God, I don't know.
No, hold on. I'll put it on
Christ.
StreamYard. Hold on. Okay, it's on StreamYard now.
Copy. What am I doing?
So talking about news while he gets that up, I was going to say one of my skits that I'm working on, I haven't put out a video in a while. I need to get buckled down and do one. But I've got an idea for a skit, basically a news anchor. Hi, my name is Jim Jomley with the Federation News Network, and we're going to have our Klingon meteorologist on in a moment. I thought I'd do the news, but just in the style of like Star Trek news.
Do you know, if you ever wanted, like, I obviously have a green screen here, and you can film me against the background of just the green screen, and
You could do the weather. You could do the weather on Vulcan. Scorchio.
That's too British a reference for him to get, but I was just gonna say, if you ever want to do a skit where you want to give this kind of international feel, like, kind of Independence Day where the whole world is being exploded.
I've considered asking you guys if you want to be in my skits. We'll get to that another day, Sean.
I could just record myself and find a green screen and whatever costumes I have, and you can do the editing. It's no problem.
What am I
Sorry,
playing?
do the clip.
Messmates, do you approve of my determination? We do.
I have to say, that's an incredible set.
It's very good.
For a stage set, that's fantastic. And the uniforms.
Why is Geordie bald and white?
Where?
And white.
And old?
Jinx.
Why is Scotty there?
He's doing ode to Spot. I love it.
Damn it, Scotty.
A British tar is a soaring soul, as free as a mountain bird. His energetic fist should be ready.
They got a little Wesley.
He's tiny.
Yeah. And they've been Klingon and
Like, Wolf's not even,
that is,
Wolf's
like
no.
the effort they made is,
Wolf is like just
and
no.
his lips should curl.
And his brow should furl, his bosom should be, and his heart should glow,
And his fist be ever ready for a knockdown blow.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I love that they just took it to that extreme. It's fantastic. And that set is great
The set is
for a stage
yeah.
production. For
Very
a stage
good.
production and the costumes, it's so good.
Very good. Very, very good. Yeah, so did we miss anything about this? So my general thoughts about this episode.
General thoughts?
I thought it was a bit meh, actually. Maybe because we've had a couple of good Data episodes recently. And the fact that when this episode began, I kind of remembered a bit about what it was about. But then I saw that it was like, oh, Cliff Bole directing and Renee and Brandon Braga. I thought, oh, it's got all of like the top TNG alumni working on it. I thought this is going to be, one of those episodes that's going to surprise me, and it's going to be a really good episode. But actually, no, it just fell a bit flat for me.
Yeah, well, Mass was pretty awful, so it's a big step up from that. And Genesis is, again, it's that top 5, top 10 episodes of Trek, TNG Trek.
I
So,
love Genesis. It's a shame I'm not going to be able to join you guys next week because that's one of my favorites. I mean, I'll be in the comments, but
Yeah, I'll post your scores in the chat. You know, these things happen. We all have mistakes.
Genesis is a great episode. I do like that episode. As a teenager, I absolutely loved it when it came out. I just loved that kind of horror.
I love the special effects. It's fantastic.
Special effects.
It's really good horror. I'm probably going to miss the week after because of a show. I'm doing the raffle with the drama group. But but yeah, I'm glad I'm there for Genesis.
Yeah. So I just thought for me it was a bit meh. I thought the writing was a bit meh. You know, it's like the whole she when she said it's unlike Dan commit suicide. I don't know. It just seemed like not quite all there. I mean, but there was a good effort with putting together the set for the nacelles. That was good. But yeah, it just didn't quite hit the spot for me. Well, you guys.
I saw Michael Kuda showing a shot of the miniature they put together to make that. It's pretty damn funky. It's just made out of wood, almost like you make a guitar, you know, like with the ribs and stuff.
Tavi, what did you think?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I really enjoyed getting to see more components of the ship. I know you guys have been talking through the entire episode about the loveliness of the design, but it made it more 3D, bigger than what it used to be. Because you're used to seeing the same scenes, and then suddenly it's like, oh, we haven't been here before. That's what that looks like.
Yeah.
So that was really nice to see that. And I enjoyed the murder mystery sort of bit of it. However, I did think it was stupid that they had a full skeleton behind a cabinet on a starship and no one knew about it. And I'm
it's not like once a month that someone opens it up and checks it, because that's just what happens on a ship. You know, you open every cabinet and you check it and you sign a sheet. Like, you know, like you go into any sort of restaurant and there's like a sheet of the last person who cleaned the toilet and when they cleaned it and when they signed it. I mean, the military is like that times 11. You know, there's paperwork and signing paperwork, and the NCO does it, and then there's the officer who signs it, and there's a whole paper trail of opening and closing cabinets. Yeah, so I take your point exactly.
And so, I mean, but it was interesting to have a murder mystery. I do like a murder mystery every now and again, if it's not just outright bad. And this one
the twist was nice.
Yeah, no, it was a pretty good murder mystery. Yeah.
And it's nice that they had the obvious evil guy. So you have to wonder what the twist was going to be, and that, you know, they're all dead. You know,
and
they're
of
dead,
course,
Dave.
I mean,
Everyone's dead, Dave.
In the war was kind of ridiculous on a starship. They would have known, but of course that was all just make believe, wasn't it? That wasn't really there, so it was just all in a make believe vision. So you know, that kind of explains that away.
But it was nice. I really did like the data bit, just because I like the nugget of background information.
A little bit more data lore, just a little bit. Yeah.
So I'm still finishing up some of the writing on the graphic novel, and stuff like this helps me create dialogue, because there is a scene where Maddox and Lore go head to head in a conversation. So the episodes like this really help give to what's going on. So
Time Lord, what's your last thoughts?
I liked it. I thought it was a decent episode. One thing that I found interesting was I like how Picard doesn't show up a lot, and I'm not sure what the background reason for that was, but at the end he's just kind of there. This is another episode where Picard just kind of shows up at the end, and he's like, "Oh yeah, tell me more about what's going on the ship." You know, like he's coming in last second, like, "Oh yeah, so you were in an entire hallucination. Wow, tell me more. That's so interesting." It's not the first time it's happened either.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, in any organization, and even me working as something as banal as a bank, you know, if you tell your superiors about it and it comes back to haunt you later, you know, it's okay because you told them. You know, just every so often, just drop an email to your manager, just going, yeah, this is the stuff that's going on, and then when they come down, you later go, yeah, I told you about this 2 months ago.
You had that baseball cap on quite tight, didn't you? Because you've left yourself a ridge across your head.
I just realised that there's a whole line on my head. I have a very fat Irish potato head, and that's as loose as it gets. But it's actually, I was only wearing it for about about 5 minutes, and it's actually left a perfect line straight across my head. I look like Frankenstein, where his head is stitched together. Oh, that's good.
So yes.
Also, I was just going to say, my skin is especially pale because we're just coming into summer, so it's more obvious.
That's right, yeah. Hasn't got the summer sun on it yet.
No.
Thank you to everyone in live chat who's come and joined us this evening, to Stu Plum, to Smile a Rainbow, to Ruth, to Mr. Beard, to Mr. Tavykins, to I think that was about it actually. To my co-hosts, Chief Sean, Tavykins Turner, Tide Time Lord, and Mazin Bob, of course, who was in live chat as well with us. We will see you next Wednesday at 8 o'clock UK time for another episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Genesis. We'll see you then. Cheers.